All right, guys, Black is here, and I want to make another video talking about something the Car Wizard lied about. You know, a lot of people believe that I'm picking on the Car Wizard. You know, they love the Car Wizard. They believe every single word he say because they honestly believe that he's going to tell them the truth all the time. So these people feel like I'm picking on the Car Wizard when I pick stories out of his videos, lies out of his videos, really. Okay, here we go. Other day I was taking a break. Yesterday I was taking a break, and he was talking about a customer who owned a Tundra, and this customer drove 1,100 miles to his shop for him to work on his truck because he trusted him. Now, I'm not saying that's a lie. I don't call that a lie at all. I mean, it's possible. You know, it's quite possible. Somebody would drive 1,100 miles to have their car worked on by someone they trust. I don't doubt that. The part I doubt is this. He looks at the truck and he don't have a problem changing the oil. The customer wants him to change the timing belt. I think he said something about a water pump. He will, you know, now he didn't say he would do these things, but I'm just saying, I'm just giving you the example. Just the truck is 2-wheel drive, okay? But I'm giving you the example. Let's say the truck was 4-wheel drive. Let's start from the front. If the customer asked the Car Wizard to flush the radiator, he would do that. If the customer said, change my power steering fluid, he would do that. If the customer said, change my brake fluid, he would do that. If the customer said, change my engine oil, he would do that. If the customer said, change my front differential fluid, he would do that. If the customer said, change my transfer case fluid, he would do that. If the customer said, change my rear diff oil, he would do that. But the only thing he won't change is the transmission fluid. Why? Because the truck has 260,000 miles. And he assumed the customer has never had the transmission fluid serviced. So he believes that if he changed the transmission fluid, that transmission fluid has grit and debris in the fluid. And that grit and debris is what's keeping the clutches from slipping. So he claims if he changed the transmission fluid and filter, it's gonna have new transmission fluid that don't have that debris in it, and it's gonna slip. Then he go to tell a lie. This is the the lie he's telling. He told a lie. My mentor told me a long time ago when he showed me he changed transmission fluid in a van, and the van started to slip about a week later. If you go back, there's another video where he told that same lie, but it was a different lie. He said his mentor, a customer signed a piece of paper wanting them to change the transmission fluid in the F-150. And they told the customer, if we change the transmission fluid, it's gonna start slipping. And the customer said, I want my transmission fluid changed. I signed a piece of paper. The customer signed a piece of paper. They changed the customer transmission fluid, and the transmission, it pulled off. The F-150 went down the street, and when it second gear, it started slipping. Lying ass mother. Think about it. He will flush out every fluid in that truck except for the transmission fluid because it'll slip. I get so angry when he and other YouTubers sit up and tell that damn lie. It's a big lie. Then I say, people ask, well, Black, why won't he change the transmission fluid? Because he knows some people who have never had a lot of people don't want their transmission fluid changed until something goes wrong with the transmission, okay? So then he don't want to change the transmission fluid. A week later, the customer come back and say, my transmission is not pulling, it's your fault. That's the reason why he don't want to change the transmission fluid. It's not gonna start slipping. But let me tell you something, I got a fan. I've been waiting to make this video. I wanted to make sure it was a month before I make this video. It's been, I think it's been a little more than a month. My fan has a front wheel drive GM. I'm not gonna call the fan name or say what kind of car he has. He has a front wheel drive, I think he said it was a 97 GM car, right? He told me the car has 200,000 miles. He wanted to change the transmission fluid, but he's afraid to because he's afraid it's gonna slip. Because the car words say, if you change the transmission fluid, it's gonna slip. The car care nut says, if you change the transmission fluid, it's gonna slip. This fan, he drives his car every day doing DoorDash. He needs his car. But at the same time, he know it has 200,000 miles, the transmission fluid has never been changed, and he wants to change it. So I told him, dude, your transmission is not going to slip. It's going to actually drive better, okay? The reason it's going to drive better is because, like, name a part in a car that has a filter. Name a part in a car that has a filter. Well, when you change the filter, the car starts to slip or the part works worse. Name a part in a car where you change the oil, and after you change the oil, it works worse. There isn't a part. The car wizard lies and says the transmission, but it's a lie. And I just explained to you why it's a lie. But anyway, this fan went ahead, dropped the pan, changed the transmission fluid, put everything back together, and it's been a month. His transmission is not slipping. It is not slipping. And to mess with him yesterday, I texted him and said, hey man, has your transmission started slipping? And he was like, no man, go ahead on with that. Go ahead on with that. He knows the car was a lie. He see the car was a lie, you know. So it pissed me off when he it burns me when he makes the video where he'll change every fluid in the car if the customer asks him to, but he won't change the transmission fluid. That's all I got to say on the subject. The car is a fat, lying ass mother. I shouldn't have said fat, but hell, I'm fat. I can call another person fat if I want to. I'll tell you another reason he lied. Do you remember the video where he talked about some shoes? Talking about he had bad knees and he was wearing these shoes and they're so comfortable. But if you look at this video, he hasn't worn them shoes since he made that video. Dre, y'all have a good day.